Hi, I'm Carolyn Weaver from Body and Soul Companion. I've said this several times if you've been with me since the first day of the spiritual exercises. I'm a spiritual director and Ignatian director. I've written a manual called Exercises for Everyone. It's a user-friendly manual. It's digital and I send it for free to people, but it's a 32-week journey through the exercises of Ignatius. It's a beautiful, beautiful process. And if you've just joined us for the Advent portion of this, you've done weeks 12 through 16. And there's 32 weeks altogether. So if you'd like to join us, what you've just done is an 18th annotation. Ignatius said, do the whole thing in 30 days, or do it over the course, if it's called the Spiritual Exercises in Everyday Life, which is for me the 32-week version, which is Exercises for Everyone, or you can do portions. So we just did the Advent portion, the genealogy of Jesus, the birth, and his growing up years, right before he starts public ministry and his baptism. So I welcome you for the rest of it. If you haven't been with me on this journey, I have guided meditations for every day, and it's been really fun. Actually, I've really enjoyed doing it. So today, what you really want to do is it's day 6 and 7 of this week. So it's the end of the week. And I said very early on this week that if you are doing this according to the liturgical year, you started, you are on the week of Epiphany or King's Day, which is January 6th. So it might not fall, like I think it's day 4 this week, or is it day 3? I think it's day 3. And it would have fallen um, if you start on Monday, it would have fallen Tuesday. Or is it day 2? I think it's day 2. Yes, it's day 2. So circumcision and presentation of the temple is day 1, and then day 2 was the visit of the Magi. So you can order it all a different way if you want because Epiphany is going to be any day of that week. It changes from year to year, so it depends. You can, if you want to meditate on the Kings on King's Day, you just go right ahead. Just know the order is circumcision, presentation at the temple, visit of the Magi, flight to Egypt and return, presentation, or not presentation, but teaching in the temple at 12. Teaching at the temple at 12, all T's. And then his imaginative contemplation of his growing up years. So this is free day, kind of flexible day. But on this day, what you might like to do is pray repetitions of previous days of the scriptures for this week. And Ignatius talks about repetition. What you want to do is return to parts where you experienced understanding, where you encountered God, where you had insight that you maybe never had before, or even confusion. Go back to that and process it with God, and where you experienced consolations and desolations. And I'll just review that. Consolations, and I'll put an examined prayer in the playlist if you're doing this isolated Advent. But consolations are where you were consoled by God, where you experienced the presence of God, the light and presence of God, and that might be followed by emotions of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. All those fruits of the Spirit, consolations, things that were life-giving for you, that were breathed by the Spirit of God. And then in contrast, desolations, where you turned away maybe from the light of God's presence, or the light of God's presence was dimmed, and just desolations are things we need to acknowledge to God. Sometimes it comes to a point of sin where we need to confess, but just going back in thinking about this week, where were those experiences of consolation and desolation? And then also yesterday I talked about maybe imagining going back in your memory about times where you did encounter God, and just in your childhood and teen years and young adult years, and just where you had increased understanding of God. Just go back in your memories and don't be afraid to explore things in your memory. So this is short, um, but this has been a fun Advent experience, and glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace and goodwill to men. And I just wish you peace and goodwill. Be blessed.